My name is Andy Wistreich, and I live in England. And I first came into contact with universal education in the early 1980s, when it first began. And at that time, I was a teacher in a college in London. And I've been involved in education all my life as a teacher, both teaching in college, but also teaching Buddhism since 30 years. I've been very unhappy about the ordinary education system. For example, I'm a father of 4 boys, and they had many different experiences. I would say the majority of the experiences were not so beneficial, really. Unless they made a good relation with a particular teacher, generally the education system didn't offer them any meaning in life or any way to really understand oneself at a deeper level. Sometimes the education is useful for understanding the outside world, but mostly the kids are just bored, or they feel angry towards authority, and so the school system, it becomes a kind of battleground. So I feel this is such a sad situation, because education and learning should be a very joyful and positive experience, because every human has such incredible potential to discover some precious inner potential that we all have. We all have this. But the education system really isn't guiding our young people towards that. For instance, recently in London there was a lot of rioting, you probably know, and very destructive attitudes from so many teenagers, and no sense of whether it matters if they burn down somebody's house or destroy somebody's whole life with with fire and stealing and so forth. Actually, I think that the root of this is in our materialist culture, where we kind of believe that the material world is the total reality. So what we really need to discover is actually just the existence of the mind. First we need to acknowledge that we have a mind, actually. I mean, if we use the word mind, of course everybody agrees, yeah, I have a mind. That's not a problem. But to really understand that this mind is something with potential for inner development, also then this can transform everything in our life. The way we relate with other people, and the material world. It changes. For example, we in society generally we become very greedy. We always think we must have growth. We must have economic growth. This is the only way to sustain a happy society, is with economic growth. We are addicted to growth, not just at a social level, but also individual level. We feel the happiness comes from going to the shops and acquiring more possessions. So then we're filling our house with more and more possessions. But it's not making us happier. Because we don't acknowledge the reality of the mind, then we're looking always happiness outside. Always happiness outside, bringing more in from outside. So this universal wisdom education has extraordinary potential. I think it's very important to understand the meaning of the 3 terms First of all, universal. It really means this is something for everybody. When I've been talking a bit about the mind, so everybody has a mind. Everybody. This isn't something about what's one's belief, one's culture. It applies to everybody. Also, the universal signifies that I personally, I can feel connection with everybody. I'm not just separate, alone, which is what we often believe. We feel sort of separate. This is just our mental construction. We construct this separateness. So this universal signifies that this education enables us to feel close connection with everybody. So we sometimes use the word compassion or love or these kinds of words to signify this. Then wisdom. The wisdom is really like the key to enter into this universal relationship. Because what is stopping us with the relationship is we feel me, you, he, she, all separate. To overcome this, we need to have wisdom. What is wisdom? Actually, wisdom is to just come into harmony, into accord with reality. Normally we think, well, that's obvious. I am in reality. We don't feel. This may sound strange at first, actually, but normally we take the appearance of all these different things, just like this body. We feel some kind of solid thing here. But if we analyze, then we can see this is made up of many atoms, many particles. Like inside each particle is really all space. And maybe there's some energy there or something, but it looks solid. But the reality, it's not like that. So if we investigate more and more deeply with this wisdom, then we find the reality of not just material things, but also our mind. And when our mind comes into harmony with reality, then everything changes. Everything changes. Now, this is important for the universal, because when we, in accordance with reality, we don't feel any separation between self and other. There is separation, of course. My name's Andy, your name Matteo, etc. We can say, but this is just name. Actually, reality is not like that. Reality is something beyond this separation. So this is how universal and wisdom come together. Now, education. Education, to me, it's like communication, sharing, making something everybody can join, come learning. Education is actually learning. The reality is that we begin learning from the day we're born. We never stop learning, every moment. And when we're dreaming, when we're thinking, when we're eating, drinking, everything is always learning. Every conversation, we're always learning. Learning just means the mind is acquiring something new. Now, when that new knowledge is this universal wisdom, then the person beginning some transformation. This transformation is very important, not just for oneself, actually for the whole world. You asked me about the future. Actually, the future is quite precarious. It means we don't know where the world is going, and each of us, we don't even know. Where am I going to be next year, the year after? Everything is changing so much. And there are many dangers in the world. Let's not deny it. The population is growing all the time. The resources are becoming more scarce. There's the global warming. There's the economy is moving so fast now with the the digital internet, all these things. So even it becomes unstable in one country, like Greece or Spain or Italy, and then everything's going a little bit vulnerable in the Eurozone, and then America, the dollar. As a result of this, many conflicts can come. China, India getting stronger. This is quite a new experience for many people. Suddenly, the whole world is changing. Many conflicts can come, and there's a danger of war. There is always a danger of another world war, really big war. There's a danger. And they have many weapons, very destructive. So, how do we overcome this? Really, we need to change the human being, actually. One thing that the Dalai Lama said, I like very much, he said, the key to human survival is universal responsibility. What is universal responsibility? It means each person is responsible for everybody. It's quite a big idea. It's kind of hard for us to imagine. I can be responsible for everybody. It doesn't mean, I'm carrying everybody. It doesn't mean exactly that. It just means I'm open to everybody. Coming back to what I was saying earlier, it means having this universal awareness. So our universal wisdom education is to develop this awareness in everybody who comes into contact with our activities, with our education programs, our courses, all these things. And slowly we can contribute something. I don't want to say universal wisdom education is going to change the world, man. It's not like, we can't claim, but we can make a contribution. If we can even make a small contribution, I think it's really worthwhile.